Hey guys, welcome back to Nurse Lexi. We are talking about my actual grades and my GPA that got me into nursing school. So I never really shared my actual grades or GPA. I feel like I've talked about it, but I never really broke it down for you guys. And I do think that it's important because if you kind of have a similar GPA and grades, it can show you that you can also get into nursing school. Like, you don't have to have a 4.0 to get in. So I think videos like this are super important because it can motivate you guys, and it can also show you hey, if you have a chance or if you don't. Just keep in mind that every school is different. Every school has different requirements. Every program has different requirements. So the requirements for an associate degree program may be different than the requirements for a bachelor's, so just kind of keep those things in mind. And I'm going to share with you guys, my grades and everything, but look at the requirements for your school, because the requirements for my school might have been different. I got on with these grades and GPA, but it might differ for whatever program you're looking to get into. So definitely keep that in mind. But if you want to know some more details, just go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so I literally pulled up the application for nursing school that I turned in a year ago. So the way that they did it was that you had to have a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.0. So that was a requirement. So if your cumulative GPA was not a 3.0 or above, you were not, you didn't meet that requirement. So that was just the minimum breakdown, and I did have more than 3.0 cumulative, so that was just number one. Make sure that you had that for the application. And then what they did was that they took grades for certain courses, the required prerequisites that they, required. You had to put your grade in, put in the credit value, and then kind of come up with this prerequisite GPA. And that prerequisite GPA is what was going to be used to kind of compare the different students. And the better your prerequisite GPA was, the more competitive you were, and the better chances of you getting into the program. So basically, I'm going to break down with you guys how I recalculated my GPA, and this was all part of the application process. I had to do this to apply. Different schools will make you do that, or they might just look at your cumulative GPA. But for this program, they looked at cumulative and they looked at your prerequisites and made another GPA from that. So basically, the grades that I got and then my GPA that came from those prereqs was, so they took into account biology, which is important. You need biology for nursing, so they definitely wanted to look at that grade. So for biology, I got an A, and that was a 4-credit course because it had a lab. Anatomy, of course, they're going to look at anatomy and physiology. So the way that I took all my prerequisites at university. I guess it just differs. It wasn't A&P 1 and then A&P 2. For me, it was just anatomy, 4 credits with a lab, and then physio, 4 credits with a lab. So anatomy, I got a C. That was my first ever C in college, and I was honestly depressed. So I did get a C in anatomy, and that was a 4-credit class. So that really did kind of hurt my GPA. And this is to show y'all you could get a C, and still be okay. I haven't gotten a C yet in nursing school. So don't let, just getting a C discourage you. So I got a C in anatomy, 4-credit course. Physiology, I got a B. I did better than I did in anatomy, and that was also a 4-credit course because it had a lab. Microbiome, I got a B+, and that was a 5-credit course because it had a lab, but it had lab twice a week, something crazy. But I really did like microbiome. That was a really fun class. You got to swab stuff, we swabbed the back of our throats and then grew it on the agar and saw all the different bacteria grow. Really cool. They took into account English 1 and 2, ENC, whatever. I didn't take those in college because I took AP class in high school, which covered it. So that didn't really count in terms of recalculating my GPA, because I just got the credit from the AP course because I took the course and I passed the test. College algebra, I got a B. That was a 3-credit course. Psychology, I got an A. That was a 3-credit course. Developmental psychology, I got an A. That was a 3-credit course. Humanities, I got a B. That was a 3-credit course. And then nutrition, I got an A, and that was a 3-credit course as well. So then you take all these grades that you got. For example, the A's equal 4 points, the B's equal 3 points, and the C's equal 2 points. And a C and above is passing. So if you got a D, you're not meeting the requirement for that prerequisite. So then you take the value of the letter grade and you multiply it by the credit, like 4-credit course, 3-credit, whatever, and then you get that number and then you add all of them up and you divide it by the credit hours, and that's how you get your GPA. So mine was 105 over 32, so that got me a recalculated GPA of 3.28. So if you round it, it's 3.3. So basically my recalculated prerequisite GPA for that application for that nursing program was a 3.3. My cumulative GPA was a 3.2. So they were honestly very close. I don't think there's anything competitive about a 3.3 or 3.2. I feel like 3.5 and above is like very competitive, and if you have a 3.5 or above, you are very comfortable. Like, you should feel good, you should feel comfortable. So I had a 3.3 as my recalculated and a 3.2 as my cumulative, so I wasn't like super confident that I was gonna get in. But my T's was a 95.3. I know a lot of you guys probably watched that video. Definitely watch it if you're preparing for your T's. And I feel like that really like gave me the push that I needed to get in, because the fact that I got a 95.3, I feel like that showed them like, hey, my GPA is not perfect, but I know the material. I can learn the material because I'm able to do so well on this standardized test. I'm also a really good test taker, and I gave you guys some tips in that video, so I hope that you do watch it. But yeah, those are my grades. My grades weren't that great because I always had to work through college. I always had a job. Sometimes I had 2 jobs, especially if it was over summer, I had 2 jobs. So I feel like that really, you know, played a part in me not having as much time to study. And I also wasn't as disciplined as I am now. Like, now in nursing school, I study so much. You guys know that. You guys watch my videos about studying and stuff. But when I was taking my prereqs, you know, I was like new to college. I was like having fun, hanging out. Like, I really wasn't as disciplined as I could have been. And I wish I could turn back time and go back, but we can't. So it's all about moving forward. But yeah, so that was my GPA and my T-score. And basically with the GPA, they put you into different categories in terms of like competitiveness. So category 1 is a 3.5 or higher. That's the best category. Category 2 is 3.0 to 3.49. So that's the second best category. That's the one that I fell into. And category 3 is 2.5 to 2.99 for your prereq GPA. So that's category 3. Yeah, and then category 4 is like if you're missing anything for the application. So I was put into category 2 and I got into the program. I wasn't put on the wait list or anything like that. I got in and I was so excited. I also got into another university with these scores. So, you know, my scores were, I think that they were pretty good. My GPA and everything, it was able to get me into 2 programs. Those are the only 2 programs that I even applied to, so I got into both of them. In terms of accelerated programs, I never really talked about that on my channel yet. I did apply to a couple of accelerated programs, you know, with that GPA and that T-score, and I did not get in. Accelerated programs are super, super competitive, so definitely if you are looking for accelerated program, I would suggest having at least 3.5. Actually, I got waitlisted for one of them, but it was around the same time that I got into the program that I'm in now, so I just chose to go with the program that I got into versus the accelerated, because if you put me on this wait list and I say no to this program that I get into and then I don't make it into this waitlisted accelerated program, I literally would have went crazy. That would have been terrible. So I just said, you know, I got waitlisted, I could possibly get in, or I could go to this program that they accepted me, like, that I'm into. So I did get waitlisted for one accelerated, but like the other 2 or 3 I didn't get into. So if you were looking to do accelerated, definitely make sure that your GPA is competitive and that your scores are high. If it's not competitive, still apply. I applied, you know, I didn't get in, but I at least tried. I got waitlisted for one, so I could have possibly gotten into that one, but we'll never know now. But I am happy with the program that I chose. I love it. I feel like I'm learning so much. But basically this video was to show you that you don't have to have straight A's to get into nursing school. You know, if you got a C in one of your classes or 2 of your classes, don't feel like it's the end of the world. Don't feel like you're not good enough. Just look at these programs, look at what they're requiring, make sure that you meet the minimum requirements, and then hopefully you're at least above that. At least you're a little bit competitive to get your foot in the door, but you don't have to be perfect to get into nursing school. And I'm doing way better in nursing school than I did in my prereqs, and I feel like it's because I'm just so much more disciplined, I'm motivated, and you kind of have to be with nursing. You kind of have to just bite the bullet and do what you have to do even if you don't want to, because you can't procrastinate and stuff like that. You won't succeed, and if you don't learn, you're not going to be a good nurse, and literally you're going to have someone's life in your hands. I would hope that you are trying to study and learn the material, you know? So it's just a whole different ball game from your prereqs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that everyone that's applying to nursing school, you know, good luck. Keep doing what you gotta do. If you're taking your prereqs, study, you know, work hard for what you want. Do as good as you can, because if you are more confident that you're gonna get in, like, that's such a better feeling than feeling on the fence. How I kind of was. I was kind of on the fence because my GPA wasn't that great. But keep doing what you're doing, and if you guys have any video ideas for me, just leave them down below. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on my next video.